Hello, and welcome to English Echo. Thank you for joining me today. Whether you're relaxing at home, traveling to work, exercising, or simply taking a break, I'm glad you're here. Today's story is called The Man Who Started With Nothing. This is a story about hope, a story about struggle, a story about failure, and most importantly, a story about never giving up. As you listen, pay attention to the English. Notice the vocabulary. Notice the pronunciation. And most importantly, enjoy the journey. Let's begin. Many years ago, in a small town surrounded by fields and dusty roads, there lived a young boy named Daniel. Daniel's family was poor, very poor. They lived in a small house with a leaking roof. During rainy days, water would drip from the ceiling. His parents worked hard every day. His father worked as a laborer. His mother cleaned houses for other families. Despite their hard work, money was always a problem. Every month was a struggle. Sometimes they worried about paying bills. Sometimes they worried about food. Life was difficult. But Daniel's parents had one thing that many wealthy people did not have. They had hope. Every evening, after dinner, Daniel's father would sit beside him and say, "Daniel, never let your situation decide your future." At that age, Daniel didn't fully understand those words, but he remembered them. Again and again, year after year. As Daniel grew older, he noticed something. Many people around him had stopped dreaming. They believed life would never change. They accepted their struggles, they accepted their limitations, and eventually, they stopped trying. Daniel didn't want that life. Deep inside, he wanted something different. He wanted opportunity. He wanted growth. He wanted a better future for himself and his family. But there was one problem. He had no idea where to start. One afternoon, when Daniel was 14 years old, something unexpected happened. His school teacher entered the classroom carrying a stack of books. Most students ignored them. Some students looked bored. Others seemed uninterested. But Daniel felt curious. The teacher placed the books on a table. Then she said something that Daniel would never forget. "Books can take you places your feet cannot." The classroom became quiet. Daniel stared at the books. He had never thought about books that way before. After class, he walked to the table, slowly, carefully, and picked up one book. It was a biography, the story of a successful entrepreneur who had grown up in poverty. Daniel borrowed the book. That night changed his life. For the first time, Daniel discovered that successful people were not born successful. Many of them had faced enormous difficulties. Many had failed. Many had struggled. Some had even suffered more than he had. Yet, they continued moving forward. Page after page, Daniel became inspired. The stories gave him something powerful, possibility. For the first time, he believed his future might be different from his present. From that day forward, Daniel developed a habit. Every day after school, he read. Sometimes for 30 minutes, sometimes for 2 hours, sometimes until late at night. He read about inventors, entrepreneurs, scientists, athletes, leaders. And one thing became clear. Success always required effort. There were no shortcuts, no magic solutions, no overnight miracles. Every successful person seemed to share one quality: persistence. They kept going, even when things became difficult. One day, Daniel's friend asked him a question. "Why do you spend so much time reading?" Daniel smiled. Then he replied, Because books show me possibilities. His friend laughed. Possibilities don't pay bills. Daniel didn't argue. He simply continued reading. Sometimes people cannot see your vision, and that's okay. Not everyone needs to understand your journey. As the years passed, Daniel completed school, but his family still struggled financially. University seemed impossible. The costs were too high. The resources were too limited. For a while, Daniel felt defeated. He had worked hard. He had studied hard. Yet life still seemed unfair. One evening, he sat alone outside his house. The sky was dark. The streets were quiet. And for the first time in many years, doubt entered his mind. Maybe the dream was impossible. Maybe success was only for other people. Maybe he should stop trying. Have you ever felt that way? Have you ever worked hard and wondered if it was worth it? Have you ever questioned your abilities? Have you ever felt stuck? If your answer is yes, you're not alone. Every person who achieves something meaningful experiences doubt. The difference is what they do next. That night, Daniel remembered something his father had once told him. Never let your situation decide your future. Those words returned to his mind again and again and again. Slowly, something changed. His disappointment became determination. His frustration became motivation. His fear became action. The next morning, Daniel made a decision. He would continue moving forward. Even if progress was slow, even if success seemed far away, he would not quit. Daniel began searching for opportunities. Any opportunity. Part-time work, training programs, scholarships, apprenticeships, anything that could help him learn and grow. The search was difficult. Many applications were rejected. Many opportunities disappeared. Many doors remained closed. But Daniel kept applying. He kept trying. He kept learning. Because he understood something important. Every rejection was bringing him one step closer to acceptance. Weeks turned into months. Months turned into years. And although life remained difficult, Daniel was changing. His mindset was changing. His confidence was growing. His knowledge was increasing. Little by little, he became stronger. Not physically, mentally, emotionally. And that strength would soon be tested, because a challenge was coming. A challenge that would force Daniel to choose between giving up and moving forward. A challenge that would change everything. But before we continue the story, I want you to think about something. What is your dream? What goal have you been postponing? What opportunity have you been avoiding because you're afraid of failure? Take a moment. Think about it. Because every great journey begins with a decision. A decision to start, a decision to continue, a decision to believe. Daniel didn't know it yet, but his biggest challenge was just around the corner. And the way he responded to that challenge would determine the direction of his future. Would he succeed? Would he fail? Would he continue fighting? Or would he finally give up? We'll discover that in the next chapter of our story. Thank you for listening to part 1 of The Man Who Started With Nothing. Remember, small steps matter. Consistent effort matters. And your future is shaped by what you do today. I'll see you in part 2. Until then, keep learning, keep growing, and keep believing in yourself.